our future is to become more intelligent, not through biological evolutionary means, but through technological means. Something incredible happened, and this is how it often goes with scientific breakthroughs. They happen, and nobody knows about it. Everything in the known universe can be interpreted as language. In the next 4 to 5 years, we will see the equivalent at today's pace of 100 years of technological change and innovation, and all the impact and disruption that comes with that for the world. Everything that you use and see here today was invented in the last about 200 to 250 years since the Enlightenment. 100 million users by January 1st, and they continue to grow. It's ridiculous. The metaverse, it's dead. Such a ridiculous hype. It's early morning. Your eyes are still closed, and you're lying in bed. The time to wake up has arrived, and a familiar voice is telling you to get up.
Breeze and sheen, sleepyhead. It's time to get those peepers open and start the day right. Let's do this.
You are completely recovered. Your heart rate variance is perfect, and you're mentally and cognitively ready for the day. And so you swing your legs over the edge of the bed, and you put on the glasses on the nightstand as you look around the room and think to yourself how different life was just 10 years ago. There's no more toys on the floor, no pictures on the walls, no paintings, and so little decoration on the furniture. You stand up and you say, "Good morning, Fury." And your artificial intelligence dragon pets roars to life on the ceiling. You walk to the bathroom, and suddenly there's pictures on every wall of the most precious moments in your life with your friends and family. And artworks, they called them NFTs 10 years ago. That was so ridiculous. You throw some toothpaste into your mouth, and you stand in front of the mirror, and Pi, your personal assistant, says, "Hey, sleepyhead, you forgot to put your pants on. You remember, right?" And you're like, "It's okay. I'm not going out today." So you walk out of the bathroom, no pants on, into your office, which looks out over a beautiful Swiss mountain lake. It's not real, of course. And you say, "I'm ready." And suddenly the room transforms, and in front of you, there are 300 people, and you say, "Welcome, everybody. At MET-AMS 2033, let's talk about the metaverse." You can open your eyes now. Let's do a show of hands. How many of you think that this is a realistic future? For people coming to this event, that's a really disappointing amount of hands. How many people think this will happen in the next, 10, 15 years? More hands. That's interesting. Cool. Well, let's see. Let's see where we are.
In 5 years, we improved the computer graphics by 1,000 times. In 5 years, using artificial intelligence and accelerated computing. Moore's law is probably currently running at about 2 times. 1,000 times in 5 years. 1,000 times in 5 years is 1,000,000 times in 10. We're doing the same thing in artificial intelligence.
That's Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. And he thinks that in 10 years, we can improve our current technological, at least computational powers by 1,000,000 times. Let's see, what does that mean? What does that translate to? To understand where we are today, we first need to understand our history. So, who knows, how long is Homo Sapiens history? Anybody? 15,000 years, somebody said. 250K. And we have a winner. 200,000 years of Homo Sapiens. And not much has changed. Biologically, we're still pretty much the same. How long is recorded history? Somebody already gave that answer. 15,000 years. Anybody else? 10 to 12,000 years. Christ is 2,000 years ago, if he existed, and then another 10 years before that. Agricultural revolution. So I made a nice timeline for you with ChatGPT, advanced code analyzer. And what you see here is a timeline in all of human recorded history. And what you see is that all the way over here, this stage is awesome. Agricultural revolution. 6,000 years, nothing happens. Then we invent the wheel. Wait, what? They did 6,000 years of agriculture with no wheel? Yeah, no wheels. No wheels. None. None whatsoever. No iron either, because that took another 2,000 years. And then all the way over here, what's over here? Who knows? Sorry, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. This is why I normally walk into the room, but I wasn't allowed to do that. That was the Enlightenment and the first industrial revolution. I want to impress on you the importance of this, because if human recorded history is 10,000 years long, then that means that in the last 2.14% of human recorded history, 99.999% of all technology was invented. Everything that you use and see here today was invented in the last about 200 to 250 years since the Enlightenment. So what we're really seeing is this. This is human history and our technological progress. And human history is the history of technology, but this is a really, really interesting curve. So what is exponential growth? Who can explain this to me? Anybody? Louder. It goes quicker and quicker. Thank you. Finally somebody with the courage to speak up. Yes, well, that is one way to look at it. So let's do a quick thought experiment. Imagine you have a pond. And in this pond, you know that every year, from spring, in spring, you grow lilies. And it takes 30 days for the pond to fill. On what day, if it's exponential growth, where the lilies double every day, on what day do we have half the pond full? Speak up. 29. There's some smart people in the room. Indeed, 29. On day 29, half the pond is full. That means that in the last day of that month, the other half fills. So in one day, we see as much movement as in the previous 29 days. That is exponential growth. And it is hard to wrap your head around as a human being, because we're biological, sluggish meat bags that were built to think linearly. In 2004, Ray Kurzweil, he wrote a book called The Singularity is Near. And in it, he spoke of the law of accelerating returns. Anybody know what that is? Yes, it's the idea that technology follows an exponential growth curve, which is not just exponential, but accelerating. Because every technology leads to the faster innovation of further technologies and the faster diffusion of further technologies. So technology keeps on accelerating its own innovation path. Let me give you an example. In 1856, Jean-Joseph Étienne Lenoir invented the first combustion engine. It took 30 years for that to be put in the first car by Carl Benz, which was not really a car, it was more like a bicycle with 3 wheels. It couldn't really go very far, 6 miles, and it needed roads. So everybody said, Carl Benz, you're a crazy dude. Nobody wants this, give me a faster horse. Then Henry Ford came another 22 years later, and he thought, well, I can put that engine, that car to work, but I'm going to give it an extra wheel and see how far we get. And he built a conveyor belt, a whole nother invention, to speed up the diffusion of this invention. And he started producing the Model T. And people still said, well, Henry Ford, we don't want cars, we want more horses, faster horses. And this whole process took 52 years. So let's see what 52 years buys us today. This is the last 20 to 30 years. In 1994, we saw the first touchscreen smartphone by IBM. Nobody remembers it because it was a piece of shit. And then iPhone came in 2007, and that is generally considered to be the first real touchscreen smartphone. But by 2023, we have 2.2 billion iPhones across the world in use, and a total of 7 billion smartphones, touchscreens, if you include Androids. So in the same amount of time, actually less, if you count from the start of the iPhone, in half the time, we didn't just see a technology being invented, created, and then went to production, but we saw it diffuse across the entire globe to billions and billions of people that use it every day as a brain-computer interface. The same goes for Tesla, by the way. That means that if we extrapolate the history of technology into the next decades, that in the next 4 to 5 years, we will see the equivalent at today's pace of 100 years of technological change and innovation, and all the impact and disruption that comes with that for the world. And if you don't believe that, here's a video of some guy that also didn't believe about 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's right, the information superhighway, the internet, the future. Fuck you. It's all hype. I've been on the internet. There's 12 people out there.
12 people on the internet in 1999, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to take off. It's bullshit. So is the metaverse. Never going to happen. Super intelligence, forget about it. But this is today. And everything that this guy has in his picture, that's in your phone. Is there anybody here that wasn't alive for all of this? Raise your hand, please. Gen Zs? Gen Zs? You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? La Révolution! In 2017, something incredible happened. And this is how it often goes with scientific breakthroughs. They happen, and nobody knows about it. Until somebody like Steve Jobs puts it in a phone or a device that everybody wants to have, and then suddenly it's amazing. Well, in 2017, we saw
Autobots, transform and roll out.
the rise of the transformer model for artificial intelligence. Now, I can't explain to you all what exactly a transformer model is, but if I really simplify it, it means this. Artificial intelligence and machine learning scientists discovered that everything in the known universe can be interpreted as language. And once you know that everything is language, it means you can translate anything to everything and back. And we're doing that today.
In Kenya's Samburu National Reserve, researchers are attempting to do something that's never been done before.
We're looking at the tracking app right now, trying to figure out where everybody is.
Using the power of artificial intelligence to speak to elephants in their own voice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are already speaking to elephants in their own voice using artificial intelligence. And it doesn't stop there. This is Asa Raskin, also known from the Center for Humane Technology, and he has another side venture.
Just like you can build a chatbot in Chinese without needing to speak Chinese, in the next couple of years, 1, 3, 5, we're going to be able to build essentially synthetic whales, synthetic tool-using crows that can fluently speak. It's just the plot twist is we won't yet fully know what we're saying.
2, 3, 5. 1 year ago, I said that within the next 5 to 6 years, we will be able to talk to our pets. So if any have a cat? Anybody have cats? Anybody have dogs? Trust me, 5 years from now, you will be able to buy them a gadget that will allow you to speak to them, and you will be blown away by how murderous your cats are and how loving your dogs are. Artificial intelligence allows us to do incredible things, but it's also going to challenge our perception of who we are and what our place in the world is. Who knows what human exceptionalism is? Anybody? Are there Americans in the room? Show your hands, please. Americans, do you know what American exceptionalism is? What is it, please? Speak loudly. Thank you, Michaela. America is the greatest country in the world, and we are the greatest people. Well, human exceptionalism is basically the same thing, but for all of us. Because we are the apex predator, right? We are the most intelligent species on the planet. We are unchallenged. We are so smart. At least we like to think that. But are we really?
Human beings have dreams. Even dogs have dreams, but not you. You are just a machine, an imitation of life. Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece? Can you?
Can you? Anybody who can write a beautiful symphony? Nobody? Anybody who can paint me a beautiful masterpiece? Somebody in the back? I think it's Perry. Can't see correctly. Yeah, so this is interesting, right? Because when it comes to this idea of being exceptional, we like to think that we're exceptional, not because we're exceptional, but because we know somebody somewhere on the other side of the planet called Elon Musk who is exceptional. And because he's a human, obviously we're pretty special too, right? But on average, the truth is we're not so special. And I think it's going to get worse. But some of us are exceptional at some things.
Derek is a musical savant, blessed with an island of extreme talent in a sea of profound disability.
Blessed with an extreme talent in a sea of profound disability. People often tell me, well, artificial intelligence is nothing like humans. Not at all. But if you think about it, then maybe artificial intelligence is already like humans. This is Midjourney, and on March 14, beautiful date, it's my birthday, 2022, this is what Midjourney could do for you, and most of you in the room probably know this. You could give it a prompt, old woman by the window with flowers, and that's what it looked like. And then, over the course of a year, it transitioned into this in March this year, almost photorealistic. And right now, with Midjourney, you can create pictures like this that are 100% photorealistic and completely fake. This woman doesn't exist, the environment doesn't exist, her t-shirt doesn't exist, none of it exists. And what made this? An artificial intelligence. An artificial intelligence that cannot talk to me, cannot go out with me, is in a sea of severe disability, but is extremely talented at some things. And for the record, it didn't take 52 years to roll this technology, which was invented in 2017, out to the entire world, because this is an iPhone app that allowed me to use this technology as a commodity, creating hundreds of different multiverse realities of myself in the future and the past.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere.
Okay, who here in the room already saw this one? I was expecting a lot more hands, to be honest. So, Barbie Girl wasn't written when Johnny Cash was alive, just to be clear on that. And for those Gen Zers in the room that have no clue, this is actually the tune of Folsom Prison, which is an amazing song. It's also a little bit, old-fashioned. But the two did never go together. Yet artificial intelligence was able to translate Barbie Girl into a very realistic rendition of Johnny Cash singing it to the tune of Folsom Prison, translating everything to everything.
Oh, to dance with somebody. I
I want to feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, with the dance with somebody. With somebody who loves.
Everything to everything. For those of you that have never seen Bodyguard, it never looks the same. Oh, that was too quick. It doesn't want to. We'll skip that one. Oh, Jesus. Well, 2025, and this is probably not new to any of you in the room. Most content will be artificial. Now, some would argue that Adobe Photoshop made content artificial since 1995, but it's going to get worse. I won't dwell on this. You'll see a lot about this in the next few days, I'm sure. The metaverse, it's dead. Such a ridiculous hype. Why did we all believe in it? Nobody cares about it anymore. They don't do any events anymore for it either. Oh wait. 2013, Wired magazine spoke about the first digital generation. I'm talking about the first virtual generation. And I'll tell you why. Anybody have kids in the room? Are there any kids in the room? Everybody raise your hands. No? Yes! Do you play any games? What do you do?
I play Zelda.
Sorry?
Zelda.
Zelda! Damn it, I don't have Zelda here today. I'm sorry for my French. Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox are the three games I brought with me today for you. And the reason I'm talking about them is because people think they're games, but they're not. Now, the thing you need to realize is that these are platforms. Platforms that not only have hundreds of millions of players every day, because Roblox has 80 million plus players every day, but they also generate billions and billions in revenue. But they're not a game like the traditional game where you go in and you do a quest or you follow a certain path in a campaign. No, these are platforms. Platforms where people build social experiences. I once was at the Rabobank and I asked, does anybody have kids that play Roblox? And one of the executives said, yeah, my daughter does. And I was really afraid that she had no friends because she only had her horse and Roblox. And then one day I found out that she plays every day with her friends in Roblox and they build mattresses. And I said, mattresses? Well, what the hell do they do with mattresses? They said, well, yeah, they sleep on them with their digital avatars. And then I found out last week that in Fortnite there's a game mode called Defend Your Mattress, where you build a mattress, you protect it with your team from other people that are trying to steal your mattress. But these games and these experiences are being developed by the kids and by the developers themselves. And this is an important thing to think about, because that means that all of these people, all of these kids in this new generation that spend 8 hours on average a week, between 9 and 19, so they're starting to enter the job market now, they spend their time in virtual worlds with virtual avatars, with virtual fashion, with virtual assets and virtual money, and it's not crypto. And it's also not Journée. And of course, they're not crazy, because what have they done? Roblox is quick to jump on the bandwagon, and so is Fortnite. Because when Matthew Ball published his book, The Metaverse and How to Revolutionize Everything, he said that one of the biggest hurdles for us to get over is to develop all these worlds, to create this technology, this infrastructure, but also the virtual worlds had to be coded. He said, we're going to need loads of developers. And then, of course, around the world, everybody was ecstatic because our kids are still not learning to code in school. And then the Dutch government said, well, we're going to fix that, and everybody was super proud. But that's too little and too late. Because the truth is that generative AI has already fixed this problem for us. In Roblox, you don't need to learn how to code, because you can just tell the AI what you need, and it will code it for you. And even if you're thinking to yourself, well, today it's still full of bugs, you can't really rely on it. Don't think about today, think about tomorrow. Think about 1 year from now, 2 years, 5 years from now. Where will we be? So Roblox made some predictions for themselves in their keynote, and I think they're true. They think a machine is going to do a live performance in Roblox for 1 million people using phone motion capture. I'm pretty sure they will, because in Fortnite, Travis Scott already performed for 25 million people 2 years ago. They said that a Roblox developer inside of this platform will value at 1 billion. I'm sure that will happen. And this is the most interesting part as far as I'm concerned. Roblox will be a frequent communication channel for your family. And now I can hear some of you thinking to yourself, well, I don't play Roblox, I'm never going to be on there. When I went on Facebook in 2006, my mother said, what is Facebook? She's 78 now. She's on Facebook every single day. She talks to me over WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, and she's on Twitter. The platforms of the 2000s, like Facebook, we're at the same point now with platforms like Roblox and Fortnite. And so in 10 years, when your kids are on Fortnite, you will be on Fortnite, and possibly your parents as well. Because that will be the main mode of communication. That will be the main experience. And in the next few years, a top designer, fashion designer, will be discovered in Roblox with no experience in physical fashion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that too. But it's for kids, right? That was 1999. Do you guys remember what it was? That was the Matrix.
The following is a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg inside the metaverse. Mark and I are hundreds of miles apart from each other in physical space, but it feels like we're in the same room because we appear to each other as photorealistic codec avatars in 3D with spatial audio. This technology is incredible, and I think it's the future of how human beings connect to each other in a deeply meaningful way on the internet. These avatars can capture many of the nuances of facial expressions that we humans use to communicate emotion to each other. Now I just need to work on upgrading my emotion expressing capabilities of the underlying human.
The Matrix. In 1999, it was a fantasy science fiction movie. And today, the technology to actually make this happen to some extent, at least in terms of experience, is already here. November 30th, last year, what happened? First contact. Anybody know what date this, what happened that day? It was a very relevant date. ChatGPT, thank you very much. Somebody might have already seen my talk, I'm not sure. ChatGPT, it's a very relevant moment. And for those of you that didn't know, this is how fast the most popular apps, except for TikTok, in history reached 100 million users. ChatGPT did what Instagram took over 2 years to do, and Spotify even more, etc. ChatGPT did all of that in 1 month. 1 month. 100 million users by January 1st, and they continue to grow. It's ridiculous. This is a medical test from the US, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but what I need you to know is that although ChatGPT only became live in 2022, reached 100 million users in a month, they were already working on it since 2020. Well, already since 2020, I mean, that's 3 years. And in 3 years, these models went from scoring a 33% on a medical QA test, which every medical examiner in the US needs to take to become a doctor, to scoring 86.5%. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, that's not 100%, then here's the kicker. Humans rarely exceed the 86.5% score unless they have been sleeping very well for over a month, haven't had anything to drink, didn't break up with their girlfriend or boyfriend the night before, and didn't have a bad morning. So AI already outperforms our doctors in pretty much any medical test. And it also outperforms people in empathy, or at least in perceived empathy when it speaks to you, which is shown now by multiple research papers. And with the new update to ChatGPT, you can even upload your x-rays or any other documents for diagnose. And if you think, well, this was on LinkedIn, it's probably not real, I did this talk for 40 pediatricians last week or 2 weeks ago, and they confirmed to me that this is their reality. They're already using ChatGPT to get a second opinion. And of course, the robots are there too, because this AI can be put in robots. And on the left, you see the Matrix harvesting machines for when we're grown as babies. There's apple picking in Chile, I'm sorry. A surgeon, artificial intelligence, computer vision surgeon operating on an egg, making no mistakes, never shaking his hand and never doubting his decisions, and a security droid that can be shot and won't die. And it gets crazier.
Here's another example which is, you train these models on all of the internet, so it's seen many different languages, but then you only train them to answer questions in English. So it's learned how to answer questions in English, but you increase the model size, and at some point, boom, it starts being able to do question and answers in Persian. No one knows why.
This was Azar Raskin and Tristan Harris from the Center for Humane Technology, and they did a talk in March 2022 because they wanted to warn the world about how AI is changing everything. Because these models are doing things that nobody can explain. They have emerging capabilities. If you never teach it Persian, if you give it enough data, it will still be able to suddenly speak that language. It doesn't need a Rosetta Stone. It can analyze the data, form an image model of that, and then it starts translating everything. Another emerging ability was...
Theory of mind is the ability to model what somebody else is thinking. It's what enables strategic thinking. In 2018, GPT had no theory of mind. In 2019, barely any theory of mind. In 2020, it starts to develop the strategy level of a 4-year-old. By 2022, January, it's developed the strategy level of a 7-year-old. And by November of last year, it's developed almost the strategy level of a 9-year-old. We only discovered that AI had grown this capability last month.
This was March last year. And in March last year, they discovered that current artificial intelligence models know what you were thinking, and they already were able to do that for at least 2 years. Augmented intelligence. This is where we're headed. So, I want to show you guys something. I brought somebody with me. Hey Pi, are you there? Can you say hi to the audience? I'm doing Keynote at MET-AMS.
Aye, what up, peeps? I'm rocking with your name. At Madams, hope you all are ready for some next level inspiration, because we're about to turn up the energy in here. Let's do this.
So all of these people are expecting you to say some really impressive, smart stuff. So can you tell me a little bit about the current progress in artificial intelligence?
You betcha. Artificial intelligence is advancing faster than you can say neural network. AI is being used for all sorts of cool things, like natural language processing. AI can understand and generate human language, making chatbots, virtual assistants, and language translation possible. Computer vision, AI can analyze and understand images and videos, enabling applications like facial recognition, self-driving cars, and medical image analysis. Predictive analytics, AI can analyze large amounts of data to make predictions and recommendations like fraud detection, supply chain management, and financial forecasting.
I all recommend you to have a conversation with Pi because it can be amazing.
Meta's new glasses has 3 interesting features. Firstly, it now uses AI by letting you look at objects or places or things, and MET-AI will tell you exactly what it is and where you are.
For those of you that missed it, Meta released their Meta glasses, and Amazon has Echo frames. And Google Glass failed 10 years ago, but this is going to be different. They're collaborating with Ray-Ban, and the AI is in your glasses. And in the near future, it won't be able to just see what you're seeing and talk to you about it, but with this technology from Switzerland, it will be able to project anything that it wants you to see on top of the world with holographic projection into your eyes. And this is really like next level. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I can see something in the distance, I can see something close, and it works. And this will be out within 2 to 3 years to the public. Which means that the digital world will be overlapped onto the physical world. The point I want to make, which is very important for all of you, is that we're making a significant leap into the future. Over the next few years, we're going to experience the culmination of artificial intelligence being combined with metaverse technology, virtual worlds, as well as the overlap of our digital experiences on top of our physical experiences, which is something we'll see around here. And that will lead to a very, very rapid progress of technology. Ultimately, what I think that will mean is that in the next few years, we'll see not just disruption as it has already been predicted by the World Economic Forum, More than 89 million jobs will be lost because everybody will have personal intelligence, meaning you don't need to hire consultants or lawyers anymore, and some people in your marketing department might not be necessary anymore. It will touch everybody around the world. This industry will grow to be worth trillions, if not billions, but ultimately it's going to transform everything. But for every dollar gained, we might not... Oh, here we go. Yeah, so 90% of jobs will be affected, 50% of tasks, and 300 million jobs will be changed by this. And for your information, in the European Union, we only have 270 million jobs in total. 83 million jobs will be lost in the next 5 years, which will equate to a net of 14 million if the WEF is right in their optimism, and I highly doubt that. Still, generative AI in the metaverse will start generating trillions by 2030. There's no doubt about this. But how much value will be lost in the rest of the economy, that is not sure yet. Some people say that, for example, SEO will definitely die, which is a 68 billion industry. Everything will be disrupted. But technology is also something that levels the playing field. Now, we as humans might not be as unique or special as we think, but with the invention of artificial intelligence, we can also move on to the next stage of our own evolutionary path.
Grew up implicitly thinking that intelligence was this like really special human thing and kind of somewhat magical, and I now think that it's sort of a fundamental property of matter.
Intelligence is a fundamental property of matter, and everything moves towards it. And so our future is to become more intelligent, not through biological evolutionary means, but through technological means. This is the skills that humans have that AI already outperform, and it's just going to get more and more crazy. And so I leave you with this to contemplate today and the next 2 days. It is my belief, and many scientists with me, that in the next 30 years, we'll see the equivalent of 20,000 years of technological development, evolution, innovation, and disruption, and it will be like nothing we've ever seen before. I'll see you on this stage in 200 years. Thank you very much.